Good morning. As you settle into your drive, let's begin with one of the most famous and powerful lines from The Alchemist. And when you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. At first, this might sound like a poetic exaggeration. How could the entire universe conspire to help you? But beneath the words is a truth that has inspired millions. When you align your heart with a dream, invisible forces begin to work in your favor. Paulo Coelho is not saying that wishing alone is enough. He's pointing to something deeper. Intention plus action creates momentum. When you truly want something, not a passing desire, but a deep longing of the heart, you begin to move differently. You take risks you wouldn't normally take. You notice opportunities you would usually overlook. You attract people and situations that resonate with your energy. It feels almost magical, but it's not magic, it's alignment. Think of it like driving. When you set a destination in your GPS, suddenly every turn, every road, every sign begins to line up with that destination. Before, the roads were just random, but once you have clarity, everything becomes direction. The universe is like that GPS. Your heart sets the destination. Then life begins to offer roads, chances, and even detours that still guide you where you're meant to go. In The Alchemist, Santiago, the shepherd boy, dreams of finding treasure near the pyramids of Egypt. At first, it seems impossible. He is just a boy with sheep, with no resources. But once he decides to follow his dream, helpers appear. The king of Salem guides him. Strangers give him advice. Even setbacks like losing his money push him toward growth. Was it easy? No. But at each step, the universe offered him signs, challenges, and allies that shaped his journey. Now think of your own life. Can you remember a time when you committed to something wholeheartedly, maybe starting a business, pursuing a relationship, or moving to a new city? Looking back, don't you see how opportunities, coincidences, even obstacles guided you forward? That's the universe conspiring. During your morning drive, reflect on these questions. What do I truly want? Not what others expect, but what my heart longs for. Am I willing to take the first step, even without guarantees? Am I open to the signs, people, and opportunities the universe may send? The universe doesn't conspire with half-hearted wishes. It responds to clarity, courage, and action. Look at the road ahead. You don't see the entire journey to your destination, you just see the next few hundred meters. Yet you trust that if you keep driving, the road will unfold. Life is the same. Set your heart on a true desire, and though you can't see the whole path, step by step, it will open. So remember this morning, when you truly want something, not just with your mind, but with your heart, the universe begins to move with you. It won't be easy, but it will be aligned. And that alignment is the secret power behind dreams coming true. And that leads us naturally to the next insight. Why do dreams matter so much? Why should we follow them, even when they seem far away? Paulo Coelho gives us the answer. It's the possibility of having a dream come true that makes life interesting. Quote 2. It's the possibility of having a dream come true that makes life interesting. Paulo Coelho. In our last reflection, we discovered that when your heart truly desires something, the universe itself seems to conspire to help you. But here's the deeper question. Why chase a dream at all? Why endure the struggle, the risks, the uncertainty? Paulo Coelho answers simply, it's the possibility of having a dream come true that makes life interesting. It's not just the dream itself, it's the possibility, the hope, the anticipation, the adventure that brings color and meaning to our days. Imagine a life without dreams. Wake up, work, eat, sleep, repeat. No vision of tomorrow, no spark of hope, no fire of possibility. That life may be safe, but it is also empty. Dreams are not just destinations, they are engines. They give us energy to wake up, to keep moving, to endure hardship. The possibility that maybe, just maybe, this will come true is enough to make each morning feel alive. Coelho is not saying every dream will come true exactly as imagined, but the pursuit itself, the possibility, is what makes life interesting, unpredictable, and worth living. Think of Santiago in The Alchemist. Before his dream, he was a shepherd with a simple, repetitive life, guiding sheep, selling wool, sleeping under the stars. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't alive. When he chose to follow his dream, life became exciting. There were challenges, yes, but also adventures, friendships, and lessons he could never have imagined. What made his journey rich wasn't just the treasure at the end, but the possibility itself that the treasure could be real. Now think of your own life. Remember a time you had a dream, maybe small, maybe big. Didn't your days feel more alive? Even if the outcome wasn't perfect, the pursuit itself filled you with energy. As you drive this morning, consider this. Your commute is not just about reaching the office or finishing errands. It's also a symbol. Every road, every mile is possibility. You don't know what might happen today, what conversation, what opportunity, what new spark might appear. That uncertainty, that possibility, is what makes life interesting. Without it, every drive would feel dull. With it, even the routine becomes an adventure. Honor your dreams, even if they feel small. They are the fuel of your soul. Don't dismiss possibilities. Even the smallest chance can bring joy and energy. Let possibility inspire your present. You don't need certainty, just the openness to what might unfold. Notice that Coelho emphasizes possibility, not certainty. Life is never guaranteed, but if certainty were required, we'd never begin. Possibility is enough. It whispers, try, explore, see what could happen. This is why children are so joyful. They live in possibility. A cardboard box becomes a spaceship. A backyard becomes a jungle. Everything holds potential. As adults, we often lose this sense of wonder. We call it being realistic. But maybe realism without possibility is just another name for boredom. So remember, it's not certainty that gives life flavor. It's possibility. The chance that your dream might come true makes each day worth living. Embrace that possibility, and suddenly, ordinary mornings become extraordinary journeys. And where does this possibility lead us? How do we know where to search? What direction to follow? Coelho gives us the compass. Remember that wherever your heart is, there you will find your treasure. Quote 3. Remember that wherever your heart is, there you will find your treasure. Paulo Coelho. We've seen how the universe conspires to help when you truly want something, and how the possibility of a dream gives life its sparkle. But how do you know which dream to follow? How do you separate the noise of the world from the voice of your destiny? Paulo Coelho offers us a compass. Remember that wherever your heart is, there you will find your treasure. It sounds simple, but in truth, this is one of the hardest lessons in life: to trust the heart. Your heart is not just an organ beating in your chest. In Coelho's language, the heart is the seat of your deepest desires, your intuition, the quiet voice that whispers when the world is loud. Society often tells us where to look for treasure, in money, status, recognition. But Coelho reminds us, If your heart isn't in it, it's not treasure. It's just metal and dust. Your true treasure is always tied to your heart. What makes you feel alive? What makes you lose track of time? What fills you with joy even when no one else is watching? In The Alchemist, Santiago learns this lesson again and again. He thinks his treasure is only gold hidden by the pyramids. But along the way, he discovers that treasure also means love, friendship, wisdom, and self-discovery. Each time he follows his heart, whether in listening to omens, trusting a stranger, or choosing love, he finds a piece of his real treasure. And here's the irony. When he finally discovers the literal treasure, he realizes it was never just about gold. The true treasure was the journey of following his heart. As you drive this morning, think of your own treasure. If you're working only for a paycheck but your heart is empty, is that treasure? If you're chasing recognition but it drains your spirit, is that treasure? But if you feel alive when you teach, create, build, love, or serve, then that is where your treasure lies. The road you are on today may or may not be perfect, but your heart knows whether you're heading toward treasure or away from it. Many people silence their hearts. They choose safe paths because the world says so. But years later, they feel a hollow ache, wondering why success tastes like ash. Your heart may not always lead to comfort. Often, it asks for courage. It may lead you to start over, to risk failure, to walk unfamiliar roads. But treasure is never found on easy paths. It is always hidden where only the brave dare to look, and the bravest act of all is to trust the heart. During your drive, ask yourself, where does my heart feel alive? Am I moving toward it or away from it? If I trusted my heart today, what small action would I take? Treasure is not always distant. Sometimes it's right here, hidden in the everyday moments where your heart feels full. So remember this morning, your treasure is not out there in the opinions of others. It is wherever your heart is. Follow it, trust it, and you will never walk empty-handed. But even with the heart as a compass, the journey is not smooth. You will fall, you will stumble, you will doubt. And yet, Coelho reminds us of another secret. The secret of life, though, is to fall 7 times and to get up 8 times. Quote 4. The secret of life, though, is to fall 7 times and to get up 8 times. Paulo Coelho. We've just reflected on how the heart guides us to our treasure. But following the heart doesn't mean the path is smooth. In fact, the road to any dream is filled with obstacles, setbacks, and disappointments. That's why Paulo Coelho reminds us, the secret of life, though, is to fall 7 times and to get up 8 times. It's not about never falling, it's about always rising. Life guarantees that we will stumble. No matter how inspired, no matter how clear our dream, there will be moments when things go wrong, plans fail, people doubt us, opportunities vanish. But failure is not the end. It is feedback. Each fall carries a lesson. Each stumble builds resilience. The real secret is persistence. To get up 1 more time than you fall. Think of it. Falling 7 times means facing hardship again and again. But rising 8 times means you never let hardship have the final word. Santiago, in The Alchemist, faces many falls. He loses his money, he's betrayed, he doubts his own vision. At moments, he even wants to give up and return to his old life as a shepherd. But each time, he gets up. Each setback teaches him something new about patience, trust, love, courage. Without those falls, he would never have been prepared for the true treasure. And so it is with us. Our stumbles are not detours from the path, they are the path. As you drive this morning, think of the bumps and stops on the road. Traffic jams, detours, red lights, they slow you down, maybe frustrate you. But do they end your journey? No. You keep going. You adjust. You find another route. Life works the same way. Falls are red lights, not dead ends. The key is to keep driving, to keep moving, to keep rising. Falling is not a sign of weakness. It is proof that you are trying, that you are living, that you are daring to pursue something meaningful. Some people avoid falling by never trying. They stay safe, never risk failure, and never taste real growth. But those who dare to fall are the ones who rise stronger, wiser, more alive. So don't fear the fall. Fear staying down. Redefine failure. See it as a teacher, not an enemy. Build resilience muscles. Each time you rise, you strengthen your spirit. Keep perspective. One fall does not erase the journey. It's just one chapter in a longer story. Think of inventors, athletes, entrepreneurs. Behind every overnight success are years of hidden failures, drafts that didn't work, games lost, businesses collapsed, yet they rose again. That persistence is the real secret. Even in your personal life, each time you faced heartbreak, loss, or disappointment, didn't you eventually rise? And aren't you stronger now because of it? Look at the road ahead. Every pothole, every stop, every slowdown, none of them define the journey. What defines it is your willingness to keep moving. So too in life. Your treasure isn't given to those who never fall. It is given to those who keep rising, no matter how many times they fall. So remember this morning, the secret of life is not in never stumbling. It is in rising every single time you do. Fall 7 times, rise 8. That persistence turns dreams into reality. And yet, there is one more obstacle on this path, the greatest of them all. It is not the fall itself, but the fear that keeps us from even starting. Coelho warns us clearly. There is only one thing that makes a dream impossible to achieve: the fear of failure. Quote 5. There is only one thing that makes a dream impossible to achieve: the fear of failure. Paulo Coelho. We've walked with Santiago through desire, possibility, the voice of the heart, and the courage to rise after every fall. But now we arrive at the greatest obstacle on the path to our treasure. It's not the lack of resources, not the opinions of others, not even the weight of failure itself. As Paulo Coelho reminds us, there is only one thing that makes a dream impossible to achieve: the fear of failure. Fear is the invisible wall that stops more dreams than actual failure ever could. Failure teaches, strengthens, redirects. Fear, on the other hand, paralyzes. It convinces you not to even try. The tragedy is that many people die with their dreams still inside them, not because they couldn't succeed, but because fear convinced them not to begin. When Coelho says fear is the only thing that makes a dream impossible, he's telling us nothing external has the final word. The economy, circumstances, even setbacks, they are challenges, not barriers. The true barrier lives within: fear. In The Alchemist, Santiago faces countless fears. Fear of leaving his sheep, fear of losing his money, fear of being wrong about his vision, fear of death in the desert. At each step, he is tempted to quit. But every time he chooses courage, the path opens. If he had listened to fear, his journey would have ended before it began. he would have remained a shepherd, safe but unfulfilled. So it is with us. The real question is not, what if I fail? The real question is, what if I never try? As you drive this morning, think of how fear works. You want to change jobs, but fear says, what if you fail? Better stay where you are. You want to start a project, but fear whispers, you're not ready. People will laugh. You want to love again, but fear warns, remember the last heartbreak? Don't risk it. Fear builds imaginary red lights on the road of life. But unlike traffic lights, fear's red signals never turn green unless you decide to drive through. Fear of failure is really fear of judgment, fear of pain, fear of the unknown. But here's the irony. When you actually fail, you discover it doesn't kill you. You get back up. You learn. You grow. It's fear before failure that feels unbearable, not the failure itself. This is why courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is action in spite of fear. Name the fear. Fear loses power when you shine light on it. Say it aloud. I'm afraid of losing money. Or, I'm afraid of looking foolish. Naming it shrinks it. Reframe failure. See failure as feedback, not finality. Each stumble is a lesson. Take small steps. You don't need to leap. Start small. Each step proves to fear that it cannot control you. Think of all the inventions, businesses, and art that exist today. Behind each one is a person who faced fear. Imagine if they had let it win, we would have lost countless treasures. Now think of the dreams that never reached us, because someone let fear stop them. That is the true loss. Look at the road. You cannot control every car, every turn, every outcome. But if fear kept you from ever driving, you'd never go anywhere. The same is true in life. The dream only dies if you let fear stop you from moving forward. So remember this morning, your dream is never impossible because of the world. It only becomes impossible if you surrender to fear. Step forward, even trembling, and the road will appear. As we close this journey through The Alchemist, let's gather the 5 treasures we've uncovered. When you truly want something, the universe conspires to help. The possibility of a dream gives life its sparkle. Your treasure is always where your heart is. The secret of life is to fall 7 times and rise 8. And the only thing that makes a dream impossible is the fear of failure. These aren't just quotes from a book. They are reminders that your life, right now, is a journey, and your personal legend is waiting for you to pursue it. If this reflection gave you inspiration, take one small action right now. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs courage to follow their dream. And don't stop here. Our next episode in this series will bring you wisdom from the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, is a book that teaches you how to transform from the inside out by developing 7 core habits to live proactively, have clear direction, work effectively, and build lasting relationships. Until then, keep driving, keep believing, and keep moving toward your treasure.